What about it, YouTube? Okay, I got a channel strike, and it was for giving medical misinformation. It was a video I did discussing the relationship between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. In the video, I gave no medical advice. I gave no medical instruction. I gave no medical misinformation. Everything I reported in that video can be sourced easily by searching, key terms in what I was saying. So, Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates spent time together after Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile. YouTube. Is that okay? Is that a misinformation? No, I don't think so. And they spent time afterward. There's flight logs of it. What were they doing together, YouTube? He's a convicted pedophile. Was Bill Gates hanging out with him to get in on that action? I don't know. You tell me, YouTube. You're the fact checkers. You know everything. You know you're the Ministry of Truth. Please, tell us why they were hanging out if I've got it wrong. I wasn't saying that they were hanging out, by the way, for the children, for access to children. That's not what I was claiming. Although that might be a reason. Is it a good reason to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein? YouTube? Is it a good thing, YouTube, to hang out with a convicted pedophile, a very powerful, wealthy, convicted pedophile, one who's very well connected to elites around the world? Is that smart? Does that make sense to want to hang out with such a person? YouTube? I don't know. No advice, no opinion, nothing here. I'm asking YouTube, please tell us. And YouTube, if it's not for access to Jeffrey Epstein's world of children, could there be possibly a connection there with Bill Gates and his interest in genetic modification and Jeffrey Epstein's interest in genetic modification? Could that be? I don't know. I'm sorry if I implied that I knew something there. I don't. I think it's curious, though, YouTube. I think it's curious that a convicted pedophile who is hyper interested in his genetics getting out into the entire world. That's what he said, not what I'm saying. That's what Epstein said. That he had a wish to improve the genetics of the planet by having his own genetic DNA markers somehow everywhere. Now, YouTube, in the article I was discussing, it said that he was trying to impregnate up to 20 women at a time at his New Mexico ranch. But YouTube, I'm asking the question, if I was Jeffrey Epstein, if you were Jeffrey Epstein, if your wish was to get your DNA out to the world, do you think that 20 women at a time at your ranch is going to get it done? Or do you think maybe you need to find another way for your genetic markers to be placed into the women of the planet? I don't know. Do you think it's possible? Is it impossible? I don't know. Do you think that could have been the discussion with Bill Gates? I don't know. What do you think they were talking about, YouTube? Were they talking about the weather? Were they talking about the stock market? Huh? Were they talking about world peace? What do you think, YouTube? I don't know. You've got one guy who can't figure out how to stop viruses from getting into his software, who now is claiming that he's got the answer for world health problems, and it has to do with mainlining whatever it is that he decides is best. Okay? A guy who's into genetic modification, a guy who's been in trouble in Africa and India and other places for the same similar type of concern about populations. He's openly said he thinks the world is overpopulated, YouTube, and now he wants to help you. And now he's so concerned with your health that he wants to be intricately involved in the future of mankind's health. That's not me, YouTube. I'm not claiming that. That's what Bill Gates does and says. I can find so much information on that, YouTube. So please don't come after me for simply repeating what is known. For simply repeating what is said out of the mouth of babes. In this case, Bill Gates. Or Jeffrey Epstein. And the two have a relationship. I didn't tell anyone to do X, Y, or Z when it comes to their health. And I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm saying that there's problematic concerns with the relationships of very powerful and wealthy people and how they come together at a time when the world is searching for a safe way out of a, quote, pandemic. I'm not the one. I'm not the one behind any of this, YouTube. I'm not behind any of what is being said here or repeated about Bill Gates or what's being said here about Jeffrey Epstein or what's being said here about a pandemic. I'm not the one. I'm the one dealing with a pandemic like everyone else who's looking out at the world and seeing relationships that I think might be problematic. I'm not telling you to think that. You can think whatever you want. So, YouTube. I imagine that there's, I don't know how many videos. I should have done this before I started. How many videos saying, go and get mainlined. Okay, professionally mainlined. I'm trying to say things to protect myself from these jack A's. But YouTube, if I was making a video saying, I think everyone should go out there and get mainlined, is that giving medical advice? I mean, I'm pretty sure I can find that. I'm pretty sure I can find, I know I can find it. I can find it on the White House website. I know I can. I can find Psaki. I can find Harris. I can find Biden. I can find, unfortunately, I can even find Trump advocating for a mainline solution. How is that not giving advice? How is that not getting personally involved in people's health? So if they can do that, YouTube, why can't I simply ask logical questions that pertain to the same subject matter while not giving advice? What you're doing, YouTube, is forcing people into a place where they cannot communicate, where they cannot share vital information, and where everything will just become an echo chamber of lies. Because you, interestingly enough, you think that you know the facts of it all. And you think it's your job to stifle certain ideas.